Kano State in northern Nigeria was created on May 27, 1967, from part of the northern region with Kano at its capital. It is the second largest industrial center after Lagos State and boasts of textile, tanning, footwears, cosmetics, plastics, enamel ware, pharmaceuticals, ceramics, furniture, and other industries. Successive administrations in Kano State have strived to maintain the status quo and developmental strides. The citizens of the state within and outside continue to pour encomiums on the current regime of Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, who, in the space of 2 years, has transformed Kano into much more than a mega city and the various communities into a source of pride for the people. Among the key areas that the government has been focusing is education sector, and its primary objective is to provide a enabling environment for the various girls' secondary schools in Kano State. One of such schools he visited with his entourage was the government girls' secondary school in Albasu.
Albasu, government girls' secondary school. Yes, it's a school, it's a boarding school, and girls' education is free in Kano, so they are not paying any school fees. And the school is being managed by a very experienced principal, a woman principal who was a principal in so many schools. And we were highly impressed with the behavior of the students. And you see a lot of renovation work was going on. Even though we encourage community participation, so there are many people that are coming to render one assistance or another. But for girls' education, it is free in order to bridge the gap, you know, especially in the northern part of this country. Girls' education has not been getting the best share they are supposed to get, even though the school fee is not much, but it's still free.
Equal attention is also being paid to other secondary schools in Kano State, but the objective will be meaningless if the girl students are not encouraged to attend.
We find it difficult, even though the situation is improving. You know, many parents would like their daughters to get married, which the government is trying to make them allow their daughters to finish at least, you know, secondary schools before they get married. And by so doing, we are killing so many birds with one stone. First of all, it will prevent early marriage, which is a big problem, especially for girls who are not mature enough to give birth. That is why you end up with the BVF. So if we convince the parents to allow the children finish at least secondary school, by then the girls are 16, 17 or 18, or which they are matured enough to give birth. And if we are lucky, they even continue with their education. So that is the issues that we are having. And we do a lot of public enlightenment, a lot of advocacy, especially in the rural areas. For urban areas, I think the problem is not much. They are always ready to allow the girls to attend school. But it's something cultural that we have to continue, you know, to enlighten the parents.
Health, they say, is wealth. For any state to produce a healthy workforce and achieve fruitful results in every sphere of life, there has to be quality healthcare facilities and infrastructure to keep the people healthy.
I can say that the secret about it is that we have reformed the system, and it has the revenue has increased. At the same time, we reduce the cost of governance. We reduced number of ministries from 19 to 14, and also all political office holders are getting half salary, which they agreed, half allowances, which they have agreed. And also our MDAs, we make sure that the revenue that they are collecting is being remitted to the government coffers, unlike before. So by these two major approaches, I think we have increase in our revenue. That is why we are being able to do a lot of capital projects, both in the rural areas and in metropolitan Kano, and it is paying off.
Without the cooperation of an effective labor force, it will be extremely difficult for any government to execute its programs. The Kano State government, under the able leadership of Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, developed an effective relationship with the organized labor that has blossomed over time.
We pay salary when it is due. Not only paying salary, you see, we have regular meeting with them to understand their problems, and they are now building some houses for their own staff, and which we are providing an enabling environment. We are providing the infrastructure where they are building, and also we have recently introduced the contributory health scheme with the union, with the NLC. They agreed, and the board has been constituted by law, and I believe in the next 1 month the operation will start, so that civil servants don't have to pay anything if they go to the hospitals and their families. So you can see that all these things are only possible when you have good relationship with the workers' union, and I'm happy to say that we have good relationship with them.
Subsistence and commercial agriculture are mostly practiced in the various districts of the state. Some of the food crops cultivated include millet, cowpeas, sorghum, wheat, maize, and rice for local consumption, while groundnuts and cotton are produced for export and industrial purposes.
The Dangote processing plant is a mighty plant if you are able to go inside. In fact, what we are producing now is not up to his consumption. Therefore, he has to go to the neighboring states like Jigawa State, Kaduna State, Zamfara, and also Kaduna State, in order to be able to feed his own plant. So the question of getting even surplus tomato does not even arise. Whatever you produce will be bought by that company. Even the companies also, we have given the company a farmland, which they are producing their own tomato, but still they are bottling up in order to cope up, because they put a very, very mighty processing plant, as you could see, and it is situated where the tomatoes are being produced, so they don't have to suffer much before they get to the destination, those who are producing the tomatoes. Concerning the wheat, there is always the uptakers, the millers, those who make the flours and so. So now we have agreed with the prices, and they are buying, and for those of them who do not wish to sell their wheat now, we provided free storage facilities, and also if they are looking for some amount to satisfy their immediate needs, we give them a kind of loan, and which will recover the loan after selling their wheat. But we have provided free, storage facilities for them. So you can see that everything has been, integrated to the extent that we know the weak points and we try to improve. The whole idea is that we must encourage the farmers to continue produce. We must provide an enabling environment for them to produce, and also we must, put them in such a position that they introduce a kind of assessment of what they do. Not just farming by head. They know how much they have spent, they know how much they are selling, they know how much profit they make, and if there are problems, then we come in, we can see how we can assist them.
There cannot be any meaningful development when safety of lives and property is not guaranteed. This necessitated the flawless approach by the Kano State government to the issue of security in the state.
have to thank Mr. President. You know, during the campaign, he made 3 very important promises. First of all, he said he would tackle the insurgency. Secondly, he will tackle corruption. And thirdly, he will tackle the problem of the economy in the country. I'm happy to say that insurgency in the northeastern part of this country has been conquered, completely conquered. And we used to have, you know, insecurity in Kano as a kind of byproduct from what was happening from the northeastern part of this country. So, but since that problem has been curtailed, and also with the synergy we have with the security operatives, we have been able to maintain security in Kano. Also physically we have done something. We have provided some infrastructures, like all the major routes entering Kano Metropolitan. We built dormitories the dormitories house about 80 security agencies who are always there. And with the communication gadgets, we bought so many vehicles, more than 500 million vehicles to the police, and also more than 200 million to the military and the civil defense. So you can see that we have provided an enabling environment. We have provided some communication equipment. We have provided some vehicles. And also we constantly hold security meeting in the state. And very important also, we have sensitized members of the public, the communities, and they are getting a lot of intelligence information.
The textile manufacturing industry in Kano has for many years till date grown to be one of the largest in sub-Saharan Africa.
We have been saying Kano is a mega city. Kano is a commercial nerve center of the northern part of Nigeria. And Kano is a commercial nerve center of some West African countries. On daily basis, you find many traders coming from Niger, from Cameroon, from Chad, even from Central Africa. So in order to increase the commercial activities, in order to, you know, make a modern business, we have to provide modern facilities in the market. And also because of the constant, frequent fire outbreak we are having, we decided that we should improve the infrastructure facilities within our markets. And we have taken that old market as a prototype. And we have gone into PPP, as I earlier mentioned. We are constructing 9 road network within the market with drainages, with street lights, and also the issue of those petty traders who are using wood to put their wares there. And whenever there's fire outbreak, you find that it becomes a kind of fuel. So we have decided to provide, you know, a modern stores whereby they are not affected by rain, they are not affected by sun, or they are not affected by heat and by cold. And also we revise, instead of them using the wooden where they put their wares, we introduce a kind of iron where they can put their wares. I even demonstrated how they use it in the market. So we find that that market is having a new outlook. And the government is not spending much because the spaces we provided to the developers are very expensive spaces. And instead of, you know, for them to buy the land there, we converted the money to provide the infrastructure in the market, to provide the roads, to provide the drainages, the street lights. That is how we came into an agreement, and a lot of work is going on now. And our own intention, apart from improving the outlook of the market, we want that market to operate both day and night, as you get in some big cities in the world. And I think we are on that.
The Abdullahi Umar Ganduje administration realizes the importance of free movement of traffic on the roads and had gone ahead to construct underpass in the city of Kano.
Well, since we use people's money to travel all over the world to see one thing or another, so it is our responsibility that when we see something good outside the country, especially in Dubai, we transplant it. We come back home and see how we can produce something like that, especially that our city is a mega city, and a mega city is not only judged by the population, it's also judged by the infrastructures that are existing or the services that are being provided. So that is why we decided we saw that structure in Dubai, and is a way of solving traffic problems, and we are lucky that it has been planted there, and having a very good contractor, I think we have got it right.
For a country or state to achieve industrialization, power generation and distribution are key. Hence, the government continues to give priority to the provision of hydroelectricity dams.
Kano is blessed with dams, large dams, medium and small dams. Dams that hydroelectricity can be produced, dams that irrigation facilities can be provided, dams that water can be provided for consumption. So the particular one that we took you is the Tiga Dam, which we are producing hydroelectricity. The work is going on almost day and night. And then another dam, the Chalawa Gorge Dam, there too we are producing hydroelectricity. And we intend to provide electricity to our water works, which is consuming a lot of electricity. Also, some of the industries have indicated their interest to purchase some of the power so that our industries can be operating. And of course, the street lights, as you see that Kano is well illuminated in the night, and we are using generators now, but once that hydro is available, we'll see that we connect them with hydro so that we can save our money by buying fuel and generators. And also, we have discussed with so many investors, like the Dangote Group. They are coming to produce about 200 megawatts. We have already provided them with the land, and they are working on it now. Another group from China is coming to produce 100 megawatts, and also we have provided the land. So you can see that Kano being an industrialized state, we have to tackle the problem of power from different perspectives, apart from the traditional electricity, the national grid that we have. So we have to augment, and government cannot do it alone. So that is why we open our doors for investors to come in. And I believe if we continue along this line, we shall be able to provide electricity, enough electricity for our industries, for the homes, and for other commercial activities in the city.
One of the basic necessities of life is potable water. There are currently 462 boreholes in different parts of the state, and the government is currently embarking on the construction of additional 789 boreholes as part of its integrated rural community development.
Water is very, very important. We have our regional schemes, which we have rehabilitated. But at the same time, Kano being a big state, there are still some hamlets, some villages, some towns that are not connected with the regional water scheme. And the only way we can do it is to provide the issue of boreholes, especially that the boreholes are viable. So in the first instance, first of all, we have an outfit that is drilling the boreholes. So that outfit has the responsibility to do the drilling, because we supplied them with the drilling rigs, with all what it requires. And we started with 462 boreholes. Some with overheads, of course, they have been completed. Now we have also requested them to do 789 boreholes. Some was overheads. We have been giving them the money so they do it through direct labor. And we want to tackle the issue of water supply squarely, because by providing enough water, you are killing so many birds with one stone. You are improving sanitation. You are also allowing them to have water to drink, even their animals for them to drink. And by so doing, we reduce the number of infections, the number of diseases that are having in the state. So it is a must, to work out. All these things are based on data, because you have to make a survey to find out actually what are the gaps in terms of water and other social services that we intend to produce in the rural areas. That is why we came up with a particular program that is integrated rural development, and in Hausa we call it Karakara Salamu Alaikum. That is the people of rural areas, here we come. Not that here we come empty-handed. Here we come with projects that will improve their quality of life. So you can see that we are taking that issue of integrated rural development very serious.
Skills acquisition programs have also been introduced by the Kano State government to provide self-employment for different classes of people. For instance, the government has signed a partnership agreement with Peugeot Automobile Nigeria PAN that will benefit roadside mechanics and others aspiring to be automobile engineers.
First of all, we had to undertake a survey within the state, within Metropolitan Kano, and within the state, 44, across the 44 local governments, to identify actually what are the skills that are marketable. Because sometimes there's one thing to provide a skill to a young man, there's another thing for the young man to be self-employed or to be employed by some organization. So we undertook a survey and we identified such skills that are marketable. And motor mechanic, repairs of motor, is one of the skills that are highly needed. And also it's an area that we are lacking, because most of the mechanics we have are roadside mechanics. They are not trained mechanics. And the new type of vehicles now that are being manufactured, they are computerized. And you find that the roadside mechanics find it very, very difficult to repair computerized vehicles. So we discussed with PAN, Kaduna, and we started with 72 young men. They spent 1 year, and they are now engineers as far as repairing of car is concerned. And because of the success of that story, we decided to increase the number. And also we have seen that there is a gap in terms of women, gender. We became gender sensitive. And now we have taken 150, 100 for boys, 50 for girls. We have already paid the money 100%, over 200 million. They will go and spend 1 year. And I believe when they come back, we are already planning to develop workshops for them, because PAN has given us a prototype. We are now surveying Metropolitan Kano and some of the rural areas to find, we are undertaking a survey of traffic movement to see where actually can we site workshops so that we provide an enabling environment. And when they come back, you see some are specializing in panel beating, some are specializing in spraying, some are specializing in repairs of the engine, some are specializing in computers of the engine, So you find that if you put them together to form cooperative society, then they will be able to manage themselves. Our own is to train them, provide them with the tools, and if possible, even construct the workshops, which is not all that expensive, and for them. And before you know it, you find that the area will be dominated by our youth. And our intention is not only to provide skill for them to be self-employed and stay in Kano. We want them to disperse into Nigeria, because we want to behave like China. China is the most populous country in the world, and Kano is the most populous state in Nigeria. So we want our children to go and to other areas and conquer those areas as far as skill acquisition, as far as display of skill, as far as earning their living in other states is concerned. And even they can even go outside the country. So that is our plan, that is our blueprint.
As the government and people of Kano State mark 2 years of existence of the administration of Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, the people and visitors to the state are amazed with the tremendous achievement recorded within that short period. They are already looking forward to the idea of continuity even after the expiration of the 4-year term of the APC-led administration of Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Happy 2nd anniversary, Kano State.